So hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. So guys, I first of all, okay, like to welcome today, that is Miss Sudhanshi. So she has recently cleared the EPFO EO examination, okay. And first of all, I really congratulate you, ma'am, on behalf of the team EduTap for
Thank
clearing
you,
this
sir.
examination. So I hope at this point of time you will be relieved, okay, first of all, and the feeling might have sinked it now.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your warm wishes. And really, sir, I feel so relieved and relaxed after clearing this huge opportunity.
Okay. So I think, guys, first of all, if I brief about ma'am, so there are 2 to 3 things which I really, when I was just discussing to her about, मतलब थोड़े पहले हम जब बात कर रहे थे, so she has basically, she's a BTech electronics. She has done graduation in BTech electronics. Then she has done MTech, and after that, she has appeared for UPSC and she has given all the 6 attempts, but she could not clear. And after that, she then has given this examination at present, ma'am. I think you are working as a teacher at this point of time.
Yes, sir. Teacher
Okay.
under the state government of UP.
Okay. So first of all, ma'am, I just wanted to ask you that what is the that because you have given UPSC also, and it because you could not clear that thing. So how you came to know about this specific examination of EPFO EOAO?
So actually, when I was preparing for the UPSC, like 2, 3 years back, then I came to know about this exam during that preparation only through the internet sources.
Okay.
Like I have already done 3 attempts till then. So when I come to know about this, I think we should try other fields as well. And the pattern of this exam is simple as compared to UPSC civil services exams. Like it has only 2 stage exams. So first written, then interview. So I think I should go for this also.
Okay. So, ma'am, what I want to say is कि मतलब जैसे अब जब आप UPSC preparation, you are preparing for basically UPSC, and as you
Yes,
have
sir.
mentioned, you have given 3 attempts already, and then you thought कि well, okay, I should go for this EO examination. But it is a long journey because the notification has come way back in 2020. Then the
Yes,
examination has
sir.
taken place in 2021, and after that, the interviews also got delayed. They were being held in the year 2022. So, what was your source of motivation? That how you have approached these things? That is because it is such a long process, and to keep yourself motivated for such a long period, and you were giving UPSC also, I think, simultaneously. So, how you have
Yes, sir.
managed this thing? How you have managed your time?
So actually, it was really long and the tiring process, I must say. But with the delay of this exam, I just kept one thing in the mind that with the number of days increases, I have to improve myself day by day, and I have to prepare for the 2 exams, like the UPSC also, and for this exam. So I have to manage the time there. So I keep continue studying the current affairs as well as the GS section, and I have allotted a specific time for the account section and the labor laws. I put a special emphasis to the accounts because either you can understand it or not. There is no midway. So I put a special emphasis on the account section.
Oh,
Separate 1 or 2 hours for that.
okay, ma'am.
Mm.
I think that's one thing that I was just because you do not have any background in accounts, and
Yes, sir.
because when I talk about UPSC also, these 2 subjects. That is, if I talk about general accounting and when talk about labor laws, these are not the common topics that we generally study in UPSC.
Yes,
And
sir.
so could you elaborate more on this thing, ma'am? How you have, because you are saying that you are allotting some time for accounting, but what are the things, how you were feeling? But because when you have gone through the syllabus, there was no specific syllabus of accounting that has been mentioned. So how you have basically approached this thing?
Yes, sir. There is no specific syllabus, but I start with the NCRTs as well as my few friends from the commerce background. So I took help from them. So they really helped me in clearing my concept about the accounts. And I have searched for the previous year papers and Google some internet content as well. So that helped me a lot. And for the labor laws, I basically go to the ministry site, like Ministry of Labor, and I have downloaded the acts and I have read the FAQs there as well. There are so many important points there. So you can find out in the FAQs. So one must read about the FAQs in the direct side or the official side.
Okay, I think ma'am, that's a
Yeah.
really good thing that you have shared with the student, that FAQs reading is something very, very important for us. One
Yes.
thing more, ma'am, if I talk to you, that is because when the examination has come across, there was confusion between the students which labor code you have, which code of labor or which labor law you have to read, because there was some modifications in the labor code which that was updated later on. So what was your strategy there? Have you been reading both of these simultaneously, or have you first focused on the basics of these labor laws and then you moved forward?
So for this, first I read the previous laws, like the Code on Wages 2019. It already completed in the 2019, but there were the draft bills for the other laws, other three laws. So when it come into the act, there are major amendments or the differences between the basic points. So I studied both. I studied the previous one and the new ones, and then I compared both of them, like what exactly changes happened. So that will really help you in clearing your concept. So you can elaborate about it.
Okay, ma'am. And one thing more, I think I must say is because when you were preparing for UPSC, you have, and I think you might have cleared your state when you were teaching also, and then you
Yes, sir.
simultaneously you are preparing for the EPFO examination. So how was the thing? Because you are reading new subjects,
Yes, sir.
simultaneously you are preparing for two very, very, I can say, one of the most important examination in the country, that is UPSC, and you are working also. So what was your main strategy on time management, ma'am?
So for time management, like for the school timing is fixed, but after that you have almost 6 hours for studies. So I dedicated my fully time there, like 4 hours for the UPSC and the 2 hours for the EPFO. I manage like it regularly.
Okay, I think this is
Yes, sir.
again that students can learn from you, ma'am, that it's not कि आप सिर्फ एक exam you should focus on just a single examination. You
Yes,
can
sir.
simultaneously also work on the two examination. But I
Yes,
I think this I might feel this might help you also, because as the examination got delayed, so it might help you also in
yes,
preparing
sir.
this examination. So
Yes, sir, definitely.
okay, so what were your thoughts, ma'am? As the exam is getting delayed and delayed, you are working also because you are preparing for UPSC. So what was your thought? How was basically you keep yourself motivated, because one examination is coming near, then the examination that you are saying, I was focusing on EPFO, but the examination got delayed. So what was your strategy on motivation also? How you keep yourself motivated?
Yes, sir. At times, I also feel demotivated sometimes, but then I want to work in the public sphere so that I can interact with the people more and I can help them at a better level. So this is the best level motivation for me. And as a teaching, I interact with the rural people more. There are the students who are from the unprivileged background,
Okay,
so that keeps you going. Like we have to work for these people. So I
okay,
can see my motivation right there in front
okay.
of me daily.
Okay, ma'am. That's really good, ma'am. But I think because when you are preparing for such examination, one thing is also coming is because it is, when I say कि आप जैसे आप when you are saying कि I mother the privileged students, they keep yourself motivated. I think this really gives a boost also because यार जब मैं I am doing something. Was this a, ma'am, I can say, if I ask you, when you are basically you are teaching also, so was this a relaxing thing? Because when you are working now, so when you are preparing for the examination and you are working as a in a government office, sometimes you just kind of relax also कि आप थोड़ा सा relax हो जाते हो कि I
Yes,
have the job, ठीक है ना,
yes,
कि
yeah, yeah, I
but
have
अगर
the
नहीं
job
भी हुआ तो कोई ऐसा
security.
इशू नहीं है. So was this something that was coming into your mind, or you were कि नहीं मुझे ये करना ही करना है?
So I have in the mind कि करना तो है, but at least your mind is relaxed. You are not into so much stress like नहीं होगा, because the stress is the one thing that can pull you up, but that can push you down as well.
Yes.
So for this, I think a job security is a must when you are preparing for the UPSC exam, because
Okay.
it's a very tiring process and you have to fight with yourself daily on daily basis. Like you have to keep motivated yourself, you have to work harder on a daily basis. So I think if job security is there, you can do it in a better way.
I think this is a great thing that those of you who are a working aspirant, okay, then who and those of you who are preparing also. So I think this is one thing that ma'am has shared. This is really something that you also keep in mind is ke don't get more stressed, okay, because I think you have some kind of social security in behind your back. Ke, yaar, हाँ, I have some job, okay, but then also this also keeps you motivating also. Ke if I have something, I have to do something better than this. Then I have to push myself. And this
Yes,
is one thing.
definitely.
This keeps motivating the person again and again.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Now, I'm coming to this recruitment test. So as we have elaborated that you were preparing for accounts, but when the actual paper come, so what were your plans for the other? What were your strategy for the other common subjects that were common in UPSC as well as in EPFO? For example, polity. If I talk about the Indian freedom struggle, so what were your strategy on these things? What were the things that you have uh, matlab, are you preparing what were the sources that you have gone through when you were preparing for these topics?
So for the polity, Lakshmikant is recommended. So I have read the Lakshmikant many times. There is no issue such that. And for history, I have read the Bipin Chandra book, India Struggle for Independence. And for economics, I have done the videos. I have watched the internet videos for the basic economics, and I have more focus on the current issues like the economic survey or the budget, because if you are seeing the trend of economics questions, they are generally from the current affairs section
Okay.
for this. And apart from this, there are like the science section, I must say, because this is also common. But what we see, science is generally asked on a basic level. Like if you are good in the NCRT, like you have to just read NCRT, so you can attempt the science question. But if you don't know the question, then don't attempt it. You should focus on which question you should attempt and you should not. I think for me, what works in this exam is like I have already chosen that which question I should not touch or I should not attempt. So that works for me in this attempt, I think.
I think that's again a very important thing that ma'am has just shared with us is कि if you know that thing, if you do not know the answer, it's better not to attempt. It's better not to give a blind guess to that question. If
Yes,
you
sir.
just have
Definitely.
you have some knowledge about that question, then only attempt that question. Otherwise, don't give a blind guess. Because generally sometimes the students, it comes to the mind of a student also, I think, ma'am, when you're attempting the paper, कि I have attempted just 60 questions. 60 questions mein to I could not clear this examination. So I have to attempt more questions. So what will be your stat? What will you tell to the students? Because as you are explaining, okay, I have attempted only the questions that I know. But how will
Yes.
you tell the students कि क्या चीज करनी चाहिए? Because stress भी बहुत ज्यादा होता है at that specific point when you are giving the examination. There's a lot of stress that keeps in mind. So what are the things that you will suggest the students? कि as you are saying कि I have attempted only limited number of questions. So what will be your strategy that what students should do?
I think first time students should read the full paper completely, because when we see the paper first time, then we see some questions are not coming. Then we just feel stressed. So I think one should read the paper or just to get a glimpse of the whole question paper first. Then they should start. Like then just relax themselves, take a deep breath, and then start attempting. So
Okay.
that's up to the student. That's totally up to the student that which is his or her strong area, and they can start with that from there.
Oh, okay, ma'am. I think, ma'am, you were also saying that I was focusing more on current affairs as you were discussing about the science and tech when you and even economics also. I just was
Mm.
to say that current affairs because I can say the rest of the topics, the 9 topics, but when I talk about the last part of that is current affairs, it is such a humongous task to read current affairs because you have to keep reading and reading on current affairs.
Yes,
So
sir.
what was your strategy? How you have mentioned, because are you focusing more on UPSC based current affairs or you have changed your approach for this specific examination?
Sir, I think the current affairs is not changed for any exam. It is same, but the way of asking the question that is different. Like for the UPSC, they ask you about the more conceptual and the more editorial type current affairs. But like in this exam, there are the factual or the direct current affairs. So the basic sources remain that you have to read the newspaper for this. So just to continuously read a newspaper, and then you can supplement it with any magazine you like.
Okay.
So that will really help the students. And the current affair is hardest task, but if you do it daily on daily purpose, then it is not a big task. You can do it.
Okay. So, ma'am, I think, as you are saying, you should complement it with the monthly magazine. But sometimes it used to happen because as you are also working. So, how were you managing your time? Because to read the newspaper, then to read a monthly compilation, and to manage your job. So, how was you focusing on this specific thing?
So for this, I have done like in the morning, I used to read the newspaper, but I don't have for the time to read the magazine. So for that, I use the internet source for this, like the daily current affair analysis shown by the different uh, channels. So you can follow that according to your convenience, which one you like and understand better. So I followed that channels.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, the next thing I want to do is which, according to you, you can say that which is the most scoring area in this examination? Because as you were giving the examination, so what were your guide to the students who are preparing for UPSC also? That which are the important sectors that are more scoring, that जिस पे ज़्यादा focus करना चाहिए to students को?
I think apart from the GS, students should focus on the science section, science and computers, because around 10 to 15 questions come from the computers and 10 to 15 questions from science as well. And you can touch the reasoning quant, because we generally ignore these sections, but actually they are scoring. If around 10 questions come from these sections, there are around 40 to 50 questions out of 120. So that's really carry huge marks. Like seen in this previous paper, in the GS or the economics or polity, there are very few questions, like 4 or 5, not more than that question. So we should focus on the other areas.
Okay, ma'am.
We generally neglect also.
I think this is again something that ma'am has shared. This is really good thing that students should keep in mind. Ki it's not always it's really great, ma'am, because I think most of the UPSC candidates, what they generally do is they keep very hard focused on the GS subjects.
Yes,
That is, the
yes, sir.
GS will be more helpful. But I think if they, so मतलब अगर आप उस दूसरे subjects पे भी you are focusing there, if you allot some time there also, they are also really fruitful for that.
Yeah, they will getting you good marks in
Okay,
the
ma'am.
short time. In short time.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So, ma'am, after that thing, so what were your strategy? Because I think when you are preparing for such a light time, so have you given some mocks also when you were
Yes,
giving the
sir.
final exams? So, have you given some mocks also?
Yes, sir. I have given the mock test available on the internet.
Okay,
And after clearing the exam, I have given the mock interviews as well. I have given the mock interviews from the EduTap only.
okay, ma'am.
So that will be really helpful in the guiding. So that was very helpful, sir.
Okay,
Like
ma'am.
I get to know about what areas we should prepare and we should do more focus on. And it's
Okay.
really helpful. And that really boosts my confidence in the actual interview. So thank you for the EduTap team for this.
You're welcome, ma'am. You're welcome. And ma'am, when you have, because as you're explaining about your interview journey, so when you have given your final interview, how was your experience at this point, at that point of time? मतलब कि was the panel cordial with you? What was, tell us more about your interview strategy. That is, what was the thing? How was the panel there?
So my interview was on 13 July and the morning shift. And my in my panel, there are 4 members and the panel was very cordial. The chairperson was a ma'am, lady. I don't exactly remember the name. So she was very cordial. Like I am from the teaching background, I'm working there. So generally questions she asked me from the teachings only. Like that, there are the open-ended questions that what teach, how teaching should be improved, and what should the teachers do to improve the level of education. And there are also questions regarding the panchayat elections and importance of teachers as well. Apart from this, they asked the question from some technology as well and hobbies. And after that, they asked me about the EPFO, like the job profile, enforcement officer. So they asked me about that as well. But overall, my interview was good. So
Okay.
I was quite relaxed after the interview, but still there is some tension there. You feel stressed till the result came out.
Oh,
Then I can feel very happy and relaxed
okay.
after that.
One thing more, ma'am, I just wanted to discuss here is as you are telling about the interview, because I think many of the students have something in mind. The interview panel is sometimes what we say is कि whether saying no in an interview, is it good or is it bad? Because most of the times we always have something in mind कि यार अगर आप इंटरव्यू में नो बोल देते हो तो इट इज अ नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट. सो व्हाट आर योर थॉट्स ऑन दैट? Whether
Actually, sir, I have also said no. Okay, sorry, sir, I don't know. Like 2 to 3 times, not more than that. But I think that is acceptable. They respect your decision for that. Like there is no issue. If you don't know the answer, then don't answer. But at least don't bluff with the interviewers.
okay,
You should be honest. Like what they need to judge is your honesty. That you should be honest with yourself and with the interviewers. That is the main
I think
take
that's
away from this.
again a very important thing that she has shared with us is that saying no in an interview is not a bad thing. Because I think most of the students have myth in the mind कि अगर आप इंटरव्यू में नो बोल देते हो तो द पैनल, बिकॉज आई थिंक देर आर लॉट ऑफ मिथ्स के पैनल आपसे नाराज हो जाता है. Panel sometimes will give you negative marks, will not give you good marks if you are saying no there. And she is the best example here because she has said कि मैंने she herself has said no there. So that tells us कि यार अगर आपको नहीं कोई चीज आती है, it's better to say no than to make a blind guess here.
Yes, sir. Don't make a blind guess.
मैम इज देयर, इफ यू स्पेसिफाई अबाउट एज यू हैव सेड कि आपने जब इंटरव्यू मॉक इंटरव्यू दिया था, आपने जब नो बोला है, आपके हिसाब से क्या चीजें हैं द स्टूडेंट्स शुड कीप इन माइंड व्हेन दे आर गोइंग फॉर इंटरव्यू? एज आई थिंक नो इज वन थिंग कि आप नो कह सकते हो, बट व्हाट आर द अदर थिंग दैट स्टूडेंट्स शुड कीप इन माइंड व्हेन दे आर गोइंग फॉर इंटरव्यू?
I think, like everyone knows, the first thing is that your dressing sense should be appropriate because that was the first impression. Like how you enter the interview room and to greet everyone. Then you should have the proper eye contact with the interviewer, like who is asking the question, and you have to respond positively. Just not that you should respond to them according to them. Like if you want to disagree about anything, then you should say, sorry sir, I disagree with this point, or I think in my opinion this should be the answer, or anything, but you should do it gracefully and politely. That will not hurt other sentiments or their sentiments, I think.
Okay, ma'am. As ma'am, you are telling about the dressing sense. Your dressing
Yes.
sense should be decent. So could you tell to the girls who are preparing for this examination that what should be a proper dress code when you are going for an interview?
I think for girls, sari is a must.
Okay.
They must go in the sari because that looks so beautiful and the graceful to the girls. That would automatically changes your entire personality. So one must go for the sari.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. So I think the girls who are looking this specific session, ठीक है, the ma'am has given them a dress code कि आप इस dress code में जाए, you can fetch good marks. You will be looking pretty there, ठीक है.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
ma'am, what will you tell to the future aspirants that what should be their goal? Because most of the students, as you have explained your journey, that you are working, okay, there will be a lot of students who are working, who are preparing simultaneously for other examination, be it UPSC, and they will be appearing for this special examination. So what will be your final thing that you want to tell the students?
I just want to tell them if you are preparing for the UPSC, then you should keep in one thing in mind, that if you are not selected, you should be ready for that because you cannot be selected at any point of time. So your focus is on UPSC, but you should give other exams as well, which have the same syllabus, so that you should not feel so much pressure. I think feeling relaxed and releasing little bit pressure from you is the one big thing that will help you achieve. So let the pressure down, I think, for the UPSC aspirants.
Okay, ma'am. I think because ma'am is also saying from her experience also, as
Yes,
she
yes,
just
sir.
said, "K, I have given UPSC 6 times, but I could not clear that examination." It felt disheartened because as a UPSC aspirant, if you could not clear the examination, the students might get disheartened. K, what is now next for me?
Yes,
So
sir,
she
exactly.
has given a very graceful answer for that. Ki, yaar, don't get disheartened, okay, because you have appeared for the toughest examination of the country, and it's only the selected students got. selected there. But one thing that as she has done, shared here is that from the experience you get from UPSC, guys, you can use that specific experience, I think, in your other examinations also, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so ma'am, anything you want to share to the students? Any other feedback or any other thing any other advice you have? Okay, students should do this thing.
I just want to say, just keep going, and I think they must focus on current affairs. Read newspaper daily. This is my must key advice to them.
Oh,
Okay. Apart from covering the syllabus, read current affairs from newspaper only. I must recommend newspaper is the first preference,
okay.
because we all have done the same mistake like this, reading current affairs from here and there. That's why.
Oh, that's really great, ma'am, because I think as he is saying, current affairs is a very important thing. So ma'am, I think if you're focusing more on current affairs, they will, how you will elaborate कि current affairs तो आपको पढ़ना ही है, but could you elaborate more to the students कि what are the things, because how current affairs will be really helpful in the examination, the recruitment test, they are there, but in the interview, how they will be helpful in interviews also.
So, like in the interview, they will definitely going to ask you what's happening around you. That keeps that adds good points to your personality. If you know what's happening in the world, what's happening around you. So, by reading the newspaper, you get to have the knowledge, like what is everything going, what is the real cause, how is this phenomena working. So, I think you should know the cause effect relationship. If anything is happening, you should know the reason, how it is happening and what is the real cause. So that really helps you
Okay,
for the
so ma'am,
exam.
really, we are really thankful to you for giving your time. And
Yeah,
what's
thank you,
next
sir.
now, ma'am? What's next? So is this a journey or you are preparing for something new now?
Yeah. I think, sir, I will appear for the next, I think, EPFC exam, maybe.
Okay. So wishing you all the best for that specific thing. Wishing you all the best for your future, ma'am. And it was nice talking to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Same
Oh,
here,
oh,
sir.
okay, ma'am. Thank
Okay,
you,
sure,
ma'am.
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you to you.